My name is Diann Barlow, and in my life I have worn many hats: daughter, wife, mother, and friend. And I never thought that I would wear a survivor hat at the age of 44. My story starts in March of 2012. I started to notice a gray area of vision in my right eye. My first thought was a cataract. Kind of young, but when I researched it, it was possible. I made an appointment with my eye doctor and saw her on April 6th. During the course of the exam, she took a picture of the inside of my right eye, and she found a grayish mass in my eye. At this point, she sent me to a retina specialist in Beaver Creek that same afternoon. My husband and I jumped in the car and made the trip to Beaver Creek. After the initial exam, the specialist took more pictures of this thing in my eye. After he looked over the pictures, he told me that he wanted me to go to Ohio State to see another eye specialist as soon as possible. They called, and I had an appointment in 2 days on Friday. At this point, I was very nervous and apprehensive of what to expect. One of the first things I did was ask some close friends at church to pray for me. I knew that whatever happened, I would need all the prayers I could get. Friday morning found me and my husband traveling from Huber Heights to Columbus to find out what this thing was in my eye. I had an exam, more pictures taken of the inside of my eye, and I finally found myself waiting in an exam room for the doctor. Finally, Dr. Savula entered the room and uttered the words that changed my life forever. I was told I had a rare ocular melanoma in my right eye. The tumor was of such a size that the only treatment option was to remove my eye. Needless to say, my husband and I were stunned, unbelieving, and shocked at this. We scheduled the surgery for April 26th. I knew on some level that the diagnosis was not going to be great, but cancer was never on my radar that day. The doctor sent me out for blood work, an MRI, and a CAT scan to determine if the cancer had spread out of the eye or to any other part of my body. I spent that weekend trying to act normal and not let the diagnosis pull me under in despair. At church that Sunday, I shared with my closest friends the outcome of that appointment. I will be forever grateful to my church family. The support and prayers carried me through those first tough days and beyond. On Tuesday morning, I received the first bit of good news. The cancer was contained in my eye and had not spread to any other organs. My doctor also told me that she thought I would not have to undergo any chemo or radiation treatments after the surgery. Suddenly, the dark cloud of cancer had rays of hope shining through to lighten my heart. The cancer hadn't spread. Whew, that was a relief. And then no chemo or radiation, which was a concern because any treatment could have affected my other eye. And my right eye had the worst vision and had the most problems, so if I was going to lose an eye, I thought this was the best one to lose. In the weeks leading up to my surgery, I did what most people do. I prayed to be healed. You always hear the stories about people being miraculously healed. I figured I could be one of those people. Well, the day of the surgery arrived and, well, no healing for me. I was disappointed, but knew that I was lucky that the cancer hadn't spread, so I accepted it and moved on. One of my church's pastors came to pray with me that day at the hospital. He also had a layperson who turned out to be one of my best friends at the church, so it was really awesome to have that support. And we also had a large group of friends and family in the waiting room, just waiting with my family, praying and supporting them, which was a very load off my mind. My surgery went well, and after an overnight stay and a follow-up at the surgeon's office the next day, we went home. I now see my oncologist every 6 months for a checkup. I have an MRI and a chest x-ray to make sure that the cancer hasn't spread, and blood work. The one thing that amazed people in my life was how calmly I was taking this whole situation. Through it all, I felt at peace with what was happening to me. At least once, I got over being At least not once I got over being numb at the diagnosis. I know that this peace was in part to all the prayers and support from my church, and I was also showered with encouragement cards. My mom started a campaign for people to send me cards. I lost count of how many I received, but it was over 50. I even got cards from total strangers, friends of people's friends that were touched by my story and wanted to let me know that they were praying for me and were supporting me from a distance. The hope that I felt due to this outpouring of kindness was immeasurable. I just couldn't believe that people would take the time and send a card to someone they've never met, probably never will meet. It just meant the world to me. I also found hope and comfort in God's Word. Jeremiah 29:11 was the first verse that helped me come to believe that having cancer was just the beginning for me. Jeremiah states, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." I told you I prayed for healing. This verse helped me realize that maybe God had a plan for me that included my cancer. Maybe I could use my experiences to help others through their dark days. Proverbs 3, verse 5 also reinforced this new idea of why I had cancer and how I could use that experience. The verse says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight." I came to believe that God would use my journey with cancer to help others and to bring hope to them. I just had to trust and lean on Him. I also came to realize that being healed doesn't mean a miraculous healing. I read a verse somewhere in the New Testament, and I can't remember which one, that opened my eyes to a new definition of healing. Why can't healing mean being cancer-free for the rest of my life? The first 6 months were the hardest. The shadow of what if was a constant companion. I grappled with the thoughts of what if and what may happen. When I had my epiphany about healing, I felt hope. With each checkup I have with the oncologist that shows I am cancer-free, I am healed. When despair starts to cloud my life and hope comes to lift the clouds, I am healed. When I'm able to share my story and maybe bring hope and encouragement to someone, I am healed. Being part of Relay for Life and raising money and awareness for cancer research, I am healed. Do I struggle to find hope? Some days, yes. Some days, hope seems so far away and unreachable, and I am the only one who can take my hope away. On those days, I remind myself, I'm here for a reason. I have a purpose to fulfill. I may have had cancer, but cancer does not have me. I look in my heart and know that I'm not done yet. My hope allows me to face each day and shines through the cloud of cancer like the sun, burning away the fear of what if and bringing peace to my soul.
Let's give a hand to Diann, everyone. Now, let's get this celebration started. Let me explain what's about to happen. We are going to celebrate the survivors and caregivers here with us today by asking them to walk the first lap of the relay event. Everyone